Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan again. And I've had a lot of people recently say things like, you've done a couple videos now on getting RVs like cold camp ready, but I'm not a cold camper. I live where it's really freaking hot in the summertime. What can I do? Is there anything, is there stuff I can get for my camper to make it more hot camp friendly? And the short answer is, yeah, there is. But before we go spending money on this, maybe there's some things that we can do with the RV itself to help kind of skew the odds in your favor a little bit. So, first of all, just like barring the obvious in this video, running the air conditioner, plugging in some fans to circulate some air, that's somewhat common sense stuff. I hope people are kind of in tune with that, and if not, there you go. We'll start off with that. Now, before you actually get the RV, if you're shopping, find out what size air conditioner is on it. Something that we do a lot of, even though, we are up here in the Midwest and it does get hot, but it doesn't get screaming hot. We do equip a lot of our stuff. Like I'm in a Coachman Freedom Express travel trailer right now, and across the board, we'll put a 15,000 BTU air on them instead of a 13.5. It roughly translates into about 50% more cooling flow. A standard 13,500 BTU air conditioner will recycle the air 4 times an hour. A 15K will do it 6 times an hour. Now that doesn't mean 50% more cooling power. It means like 15% more flow and capacity. So it'll get down to temp easier and stay there easier. And it will get colder, but it won't get like 50% colder. Anyway, so shopping for the right air conditioner unit on your RV, that's kind of step one, making sure you've got the right equipment there. But let's say that's not an option. Let's say that you've bought a used RV or something like that, or even when you are still shopping. Actually, one of the questions I get all the time is, does this one have those dual pane windows? Those are the thermal windows, right? No, they're not. I've done videos on that too, but this is very topical right now. The windows in these things, guys, this is like an R.7, an R0.7 R value on an RV window, a standard RV window. To give you an idea, this sidewall over here, it might be an R7 to a 9. So this is basically a giant thermal hole in the wall. But don't we just love the look of all these big windows behind us right here? And we love that light and that airflow. Well, that comes at everything is a push-pull. That's part of the reason I say every camper is the best in a different way. So when you have big windows like this, you're going to have a little harder time keeping your RV cool in the summer. So what can you do? Those thermal windows that you hear about are the dual pane windows. It's not like a residential thermal window with like an argon gas charge or an inert gas charge in between. Those can exist in the RV industry, but not in the general travel trailer and fifth wheel you're going to take home. Only in some really specialized stuff. And if you have a camper with some of those, great, cool, good for you, congratulations. The fact, and that's awesome, but 99% of people don't and won't get those things. So a dual pane RV window, because each pane is a little bit thinner and there's no special gas charge between them, that only goes to like you only gain 40% insulative quality, an R1.1 roughly, instead of an R.7. So for an extremely high cost, it does nearly nothing for you. So that's why I'm not a big fan of the dual pane windows. Instead, here's what I recommend. Now, it's often referred to as the poor man's thermal window. I refer to it as the smart person's thermal window, and that is, you take the shade and you just pull these shades down. And you've done a couple very big things to your RV right here. Pulling that shade down creates an air pocket with poor air exchange, and air is an intensely good insulator. So that's basically the same concept, not exactly same thing as like a thermal pane window, but the thing is, by pulling that shade down, you've actually increased the R value effectively of this window gap in the side of your trailer to over R2. So you've done more with the shades that are already on the RV than the thermal pane windows, the dual pane windows. Some folks might say in a cold camp situation, yeah, but it keeps the condensation off the windows. You shouldn't ever have condensation on the windows. If you have condensation on windows, you should be running a dehumidifier, not using a dual pane window that puts a band-aid on the problem. You're still trapping moisture in the RV. That's a separate thing. By the way, you don't need a dehumidifier typically in the summertime because your air conditioner up top is actually organically dehumidifying the RV. That's why you have a little trickle drain of condensation coming off the top of the air conditioner on the roof. That's why there's always that little bitty dirt trail coming off the air conditioner, because that's usually wet and more dust collects on there. So just pulling the shades on these windows does so much more for you than these expensive dual pane windows. But what else can you do? Well, this stuff right here, there's the double layer, the single layer. Sometimes, you know, there's a brand name called Reflectix, Astrofoil, the silvery hot dog paper foily stuff right here. Whatever name you call it, this stuff is unbelievably cheap and extremely easy to work with. You can take a pair of household scissors, you can roughly measure out this window, or if you're really cute and you're good with like Pinterest stuff, you can trace out the exact shapes and whatnot. And you can find various ways of basically attaching this to the window, covering it over the window, and doing something to just straight, hard reflect the sun, to keep the sun from getting into your camper in the first place. Kind of like, you know, putting tinfoil around a floor vent in an old house or something like that to help direct heat for airflow and efficiency. This stuff does wonders. And hey, added benefit, when you put this up on the window, ain't nobody seeing through this stuff. This gives you all kinds of privacy. So this stuff is extremely inexpensive, and you can have that shipped to your house, no problem. Now, you've got roof vents. The roof vents in like your bedroom, your bathroom, they're basically a window on the roof, if you think about it. And they have the same problem and the same benefit. They give you light, they give you airflow, and they just let that heat pour right into the camper because they're not insulated. And anything that you can stuff into that, whether it's an old pillow from the closet, they make special vent pillows that you can shove up into those things like these right here, and you know, you can get those on the part shelf of any place. We'll have them probably on our online part store, I don't know. But the point is, anything you can do, once again, to block the sun, that solar radiation, that heat from getting in the RV, that is going to be a benefit. Now, this stuff is also really handy if you're boondocking. Running the air conditioner and the lights, that really only kind of applies if you're at a, not the lights, I'm looking at lights right now. Running the air conditioner and fans, you're probably only going to do more of that when you're at a park. So if you're boondocking, this becomes trickier, and you need those windows open for that airflow. Well, you're probably going to spend some time outside, and there are different awning screen rooms, but I kind of stumbled into something here that's pretty simple and easy. What I like about one of these little shade jobs right here, it's kind of like if you flip down the visor of your car, it just blocks the sun from blasting you in the face, and it gets that direct sun exposure off of you. But what I like about little things like this, as opposed to like a whole screen room that takes a long time to set up around the awning, is two things. First of all, it just hooks right into the awning track right here. So this is exceptionally easy to set up, and you just whip it up there when you want it, take it down when you don't. You know, it's just, this is no different than hanging lights off your awning effectively. It kind of straps down to the ground so you can have it, you know, really sitting at the angle of attack that works best for you. Again, kind of like the sun visor of a car. The other thing I like about this is all the airflow that you can get beside it, so you can still get a nice breeze rolling under that awning. Now, there's a lot of other interesting, different solutions that you could come up with. These are just a few that I grabbed off the shelf real quick to be able to show folks really quickly and easily, although quickly doesn't seem to be in my vocabulary as I'm going on 8.5 minutes already. So what I would love it if folks shared a couple of your own little homegrown solutions. Help each other out a little bit here too. You know, use this video kind of as a launch pad. What are ways that you've done, aside from what I've done here, to help keep the sun out of the RV, the heat out of the RV, the air flowing and cooling and all that good stuff? I'd love to hear from you folks too. I learned from you guys, I think, as much as you learned from me. I don't know if you realize how much I appreciate your information and feedback. A lot of what I've learned is purely based off consumer feedback. So help me help you, and we'll all help each other. And that sounds pretty helpful to me. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy hot camping, everyone. Maybe we can do some hot yoga in here. Ooh. I don't think you want to think about me doing hot yoga, all sweaty and